everyone, what's up? Welcome back to another Russian video. Thank you for being here. Today we're gonna reason a little, we're gonna have a little discussion. I'm gonna share some tips that you should consider when purchasing a vehicle in Jamaica. Whether COVID time or not, I know a lot of persons are looking to buy here in Jamaica, persons living overseas and living here. I recently purchased a vehicle, it's my second vehicle, so there are a lot of things that I have learned from going through the experience twice that I want to impart on you, so when you are purchasing yours, you don't make any kind of mistake and you get exactly what you want. Cool? So if that's something that you're interested in, then definitely stick around. And before we continue, you know the passcode, you know what I'm about to say, right? Like the video, leave a comment, share the video with your friends, subscribe, and let's grow the channel together. Okay? Thank y'all for being here, and let's get into the video. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. So as I mentioned before, I recently purchased a new vehicle, right? And of course there are things that I've learned that I want to share with you. So the first thing I want to share, and the first tip that I want you to consider when you are purchasing your vehicle, is that you need to decide on the reason or the circumstance under which you're purchasing this vehicle, so that you can decide on the type of vehicle to get, right? And what I mean by that is that you need to consider things like, you know, where do you live? Do you live up a hill or you live on the flat? If you're living up a hill, you're going to be driving up a hill every single day. You know, you'll most likely need a higher vehicle that can climb over the hill, that can give you a lot more power, etc. Not to say that the smaller vehicles can't, but the higher vehicle is more likely to, right? You have to also decide on, is it gonna be you alone that's using the vehicle, or you're getting it for a family? Now, most likely, if it's a family vehicle, you will need more space. If it's just you alone, you'll need less space, right? So you have different vehicles in different categories, and then if it's you alone, sometimes you may just want a sedan, a mini car, or if it's a family, you may need a SUV, a 7-seater, etc. So those things you have to decide on. How is it going to be used? Who's going to be using it, to know what type, because the SUVs can be a lot more expensive, even though you can use the SUV as a single person as well, right? So that's something to consider. The next thing is, how will you be driving this vehicle? Are you going to be just driving from home to work to school, you know, around town? Are you going to be doing a lot of country road trips? You're going to be going in the bushes, you're going to be going all over the place. That will help you to decide, all right, what kind of vehicle should I get? Should I get like a 2-wheel drive? Should I get a 4-wheel drive, etc.? So know how much pressure you're going to be putting on the vehicle to know what kind of vehicle to decide on. You also have to determine now, are you a first-time driver, you just learning to drive, just get your license, or are you a well-experienced driver who know the roads? My suggestion is that if you're a first-time driver, don't bother get nothing too expensive, because you're inevitably gonna mash it up. You know, we all go through that phase. You beat it up, you're making mistakes, you skirt the side on the curb, the tree reverse into you. Note I said the tree reverse into you, not you reverse into the tree. You know, all of these things will happen if you're a first-time driver. It's just one of those things that come with it. So I wouldn't suggest you get a luxurious car, you know, right off the bat. Get enough practice on something not so luxury, and then you can always upgrade afterwards. And also another factor to consider for the type of car is the resale value. What are you looking for? Something that you're going to keep for life, or are you looking for something that you want to sell in a year or two or whatever, right? Does it have good resale value? Like Hondas, for example, in Jamaica, or Japanese cars overall in Jamaica have very great resale value. Like, when you're ready to sell, the chances of you selling a Japanese car or reselling a Japanese car as opposed to a German car is a lot greater. So those are things to determine what type of vehicle to choose, right? Tip number two, you have to determine your budget. Your budget will dictate what car you buy. Your budget is the money, how much money you have to spend, right? And not only on, when I say spend, I don't necessarily only mean what you're gonna spend to purchase the vehicle. There are other costs to consider that you need to budget, right? You need to consider the cost of maintaining the vehicle, and that includes servicing the vehicle. Every vehicle needs servicing, just like your belly and your body. You need to service your belly every single day to keep it going. You have to fuel it up, you have to drink your water and eat your food and take your vitamins. It's the same thing with a car. So you're gonna have to service regularly, and some cars more regularly than others. You're gonna have to buy gas, so that's something to consider as well. Okay, when you're budgeting, you also have to consider the cost for parts and the cost for repair. And when I say that, here's an example, right? You have a dealership that may sell two cars. They may sell an Audi, which is more of a luxury brand, and they sell a Honda, which is not so much of a luxury brand. They're both very good cars, and they're both for $2 million. Now we know that you can afford the $2 million car up front to pay for it. But chances are, when it's time for you to repair that vehicle, the cost of the part for the Audi may be more expensive than the cost of the part for a Honda, even though you had paid $2 million up front. So that's what I mean, that you have to take those things into consideration when you're purchasing a vehicle, that when it's time to repair, you have to know and budget for the cost of the parts, right? You also have to budget for the cleaning of the car, because you want to, maintain the upkeep of the car. You want to make sure that the car is always clean. So that's another expense that you have to consider. In addition to the maintenance of the car, you're gonna have to pay insurance. So that's another cost to consider. Now you have to pay insurance on the car up front, and you have to pay it every year. You can decide if you want to pay one fee for the year, or you want to break it up in 3 months or 6 months, whatever. Different insurance places give different installments that you can pay, or you're going to your company, etc. Right? When you're getting insurance, the market value of the vehicle determines the cost of your insurance. There are other factors like the features of the vehicle, the security features that you would have put on, whatever additional thing you put on to the vehicle. Of course, you're going to insure for that. The age of your license determines the cost of your insurance. If you just freshly get a brand new spanking license, your insurance will be higher than someone who's been, who's had their license for some time. Your accident history also determines the cost of your premium and insurance. If you're gonna get third party versus comprehensive insurance, that also determines the cost, etc. So you have to put those things, you have to definitely consider those things when you're budgeting, right? You also have to budget for your deposit. If you're gonna purchase the car by going through a bank where the bank is gonna finance the car, if you did not get 100% financing on that car, you're gonna have to have the deposit. So if they give 80% financing, you're gonna have to have that 20% upfront. And even if they give you 100% financing, there's also a processing fee that you're gonna have to pay for. So those are some things that you have to work into, purchasing the car. So if you say a car for $2 million, honey, it's not just $2 million. $2 million is where we start. But when you add the insurance, and then you add whatever features you're gonna put on it, and then the deposit depending on structure of the financing and all of that, then it's a little bit more than the $2 million. So you have to keep that in mind, and you have to budget wisely and make sure that the car you're purchasing is a car that you can manage. Cool? And also make sure that you budget in such a way that you can live after paying for your car expenses, right? So if you get $100,000 for your salary, don't get a car that's gonna cost you $80,000 a month. That just don't make sense, right? So just budget wisely. Alright, so the next tip is you have to select the best place for you to buy from, right? Now you have different options. you can go to a new dealership. And for new dealerships, the positives or the pros of going to a new dealership is that it's a brand new car. You're the first time owner. They sell the latest models, so you know you come out in a brand new. It usually comes with warranties and guarantees, manufacturing warranties. And because it's new, the chances or the likelihood of you having to repair something in a short term will be very small because everything is new. The drawback of a new dealership, it's usually more expensive because they only sell the newer vehicles, the newest of the newest vehicles, right? But that's definitely a place to consider. You have several new dealerships here in Jamaica. You have the ATL brand, which houses the Hondas, Kia, BMW, Audi, and I think that's it for ATL. You have Stewart's, Kingston Industrial Garage, you have Hyundai, you have all of the new dealerships that you can definitely check out, but just understand the pros and the cons of going to a new dealership. Now you have the used car dealerships or the pre-owned dealerships, right? And the positive of the pre-owned is that it's usually cheaper because it's not a brand new car. You're usually able to get more variety because, you know, they don't just sell one type of car, they have a whole lot full of cars. And those ones, there's several of them around Jamaica. You have from Stepmas, you have the ATL pre-approved lot, you have Wheels on Wheels, there's so many, right? Just type in Google pre-approved car dealerships in Jamaica or pre-owned car dealerships in Jamaica and they will come up. The drawback of going to a used dealership is that it's not new, it's used, somebody had it before, so you're not the first owner or driver of that car, right? It has mileage on the car because someone was using and driving that car before. Some of those cars may have some hidden issues that the seller did not inform you of. Sometimes you buy something and it's like great, and another time you go and you get, you know, but it's a risk, right? And you must make sure that you get the service history and the driving history of that vehicle when you're purchasing from a pre-approved or a pre-owned lot. The other option for purchasing a vehicle is that you can buy on the open market from someone who is just reselling. So it's not necessarily a lot, but it's just a person who is reselling. And of course, that is, the pros and cons are very similar to doing the pre-owned lot. But it's just that the pre-owned lot comes with, some of them comes with warranty and guarantee, while if you're purchasing from a person, the sale is final. You can't go back to them after that. You just take what you get, right? You can also try get through the auctions. Most times the auctions are cheaper because sometimes the auctions are the banks that have repossessed vehicles and just putting them out to auction now just to cover the loan. So sometimes you can get really good deals from those auctions, and other times it's expensive because, you know, you're auctioning, so somebody comes and bids and outbids and you bid and bid, and then it bring the price so high. So you also have to do some research on that vehicle that you're gonna bid on, so that you know not to overbid, you know, and end up paying too much money for a used vehicle when you could have gotten that vehicle brand new or close to brand new, if you get what I mean, right? Yeah, as mentioned, there are different types of vehicles that you can purchase. In Jamaica, we have a lot of Japanese vehicles and we have a lot of European vehicles, right? So you have to know what's also your taste in vehicles. Personally, I like German vehicles, but not to say that the others are not great. You just have to know what you like and what's your budget for it. And some of the Japanese vehicles includes the Toyotas, the Hondas, the Mitsubishi, the Subarus, the Mazda, Nissan, etc. The German vehicles now, or the European vehicles, are the VWs, the BMW, the Mercedes, the Audis, the Porsches, etc. Right? A tip is that when you're going to purchase your vehicle from especially a used dealership or on the open market, take with you a mechanic or someone that knows a lot about vehicles, so that you don't buy a post in a bag. And for those of you that don't know what that is, Here's the definition. You need to take somebody that's knowledgeable on vehicles to help you to check things like the transmission, the wiring of the vehicle, the engine. Make sure that the engine number matches what's inside the vehicle, because there are cases where the engine number and what's on the title are different, or the chassis number is different, because you do have those kind of situations. So you need to, if you don't know a lot about vehicles, make sure somebody's there with you that can help to guide you, so that you don't make a mistake and buy something that you're not happy with in the end. Also, when you're going to buy from these places, whether new or used or from the open market, request a test drive so you can feel out what you're getting. Don't just buy it without finding out what you like, because let me tell you, from my experience, I went to every dealership, new dealership, right? And I requested a test drive for everything, because you see some car and them look pretty and all of that, and when you going at it, I say, this one don't feel firm on the road, this steering don't feel too tough, so you know what you want and what you don't want, because after you've made that purchase and you done go through that whole banking process and spend a much million of dollars, you don't want now having this buyer's remorse now, where you're like, oh my god, I don't like it, because you didn't test drive it before. So make sure you test drive it, you feel it out you're going at. And if it takes you 10 times to go and look at the vehicle at the dealership, take a sweet little time, because you're spending your money. Don't make nobody force you or rush you into making a purchase. Make the purchase when you are ready and you feel like you are comfortable with that purchase, because once it is made, you are stuck with it until you have cleared that loan, if it is that you're going with the bank or financial institution. And when it's cash, once you give your cash, that's it. We don't have the culture in Jamaica for returning and exchanging. While we do have some stores that may exchange some things, it's very difficult for them to take back the car if nothing is wrong with it. Okay, I know in other countries you can just feel like, oh, I don't feel like I want it today, and you just go back and you do a return. It doesn't work like that here in Jamaica. So make sure that you take your time, because once you buy it, I feel you. Alright, the fourth tip is that you need to determine the best method of financing for you, right? If it is that you're using cash, go right ahead, baby. I'm very happy that you have enough cash to pay for it. Pay with cash, and make sure that you get a receipt for your purchase. Make sure that you get the title for the vehicle, and the title is signed and stamped over by the tax office in your name, so you know it is yours. Don't make nobody sell a vehicle and just give you a receipt and the title still has their name. If it's not in your name, it is not yours. Cool? If you're gonna go with a financial institution or a bank, do your research. Call all of them and get all the information you can about what their offerings are. Some banks offer up to 100% financing on new vehicle. Some offer up to 90 to 80 to 70% on used vehicles that are about up to 5 or 6 years old. As mentioned before, it is important to have your deposit up front if it is that they're not gonna give you 100% financing. As said, call all of the banks. You have a lot of banks in Jamaica. We have Scotiabank, VMBS, JMMB, First Global, First Caribbean, Jamaica National. There are so many, Sagicor, etc. Call them, find out what are the rates, interest rates, how much them offering, all of that, and then you make a decision based on the best for you and the one that you think you're gonna be most comfortable with. Because remember, once you've entered into that agreement, you cannot get out until you've cleared that loan. Cool? So when you're going through banks or financial institutions, they usually require some things up front. And these include ID, TRN, proof of address. Some require references. You need a pro forma invoice for the vehicle that you're purchasing. You need a valuation report on the vehicle that you're purchasing. And if you're employed, you need a job letter, and some banks require up to 6 months pay slips, right? So you need to have those documents up front to approach a bank when you're going to use their services to purchase your vehicle, right? And for valuation report, if you're purchasing from a dealership, they will most likely already have a valuation report that you can just use to take to the bank. If you're purchasing on the open market, they will sometimes have a valuation report, but sometimes you may want to take the initiative to go and get a valuation report for yourself, because you know it go. There are fraudulent activities that happen on the open market at times, and you want to make sure that you're getting the best value for your money when you're purchasing that vehicle. And just make sure that wherever you go, it's a certified valuator that is doing it, and the bank will accept that valuator. So make sure you check with your bank first. They give you the list of valuators that they accept from, and you go to one of those. So another tip I have for you is that, or recommendation I have for you, is that you need to consider the resale value of the vehicle that you're purchasing if your intention is to resell it in short term, right? I know some persons may be buying a vehicle, it's a dream car, and this is a vehicle you want to have for the rest of your life. In that case, go ahead and just get whatever you want. But if your intention is to sell it soon, you have to consider what is sellable, in the short term. Some vehicles that go by fast, as I mentioned earlier, is that like Hondas go by quickly. You see them Honda Civics there? If you go say, got this up on the market, there is somebody who will be willing to purchase it. I know at least 4 persons who, when they're ready to sell them Honda Civic, it go by hot bird. It go by quickly, and in some cases you make a good profit on the car. Now if you're gonna do a German type vehicle, it's a lot harder, because the truth is that I think persons who own German vehicles here in Jamaica, they usually like to have it brand new. So it's hard now to get somebody to go and buy a used one unless you really want it. You know what I mean? So it's harder. It will sell. It can sell but it is harder to try and resell it than if you're to get a Japanese type of vehicle. We have a BMW culture here in Jamaica, so I use BMW that sells much faster than I used Audi. They're both German, they're both European, but we just have a BMW culture, so that will go by quicker than if you were to try to sell a used Audi, for example. But Honda Civic, quick thing. The Toyotas have this reputation of having cheaper parts, so those go by quickly. You'll hear a lot of persons bounce that around and say, oh yeah man, the Toyota parts cheaper, so yada. Whether it's true or not, it's something that's in a lot of people's minds, so it's easier for them to buy it. In my experience, all of them expensive, but word on the street is that Toyota is a little cheaper. My final recommendation and tip for you when purchasing your vehicle in Jamaica is that make sure that you are comfortable with your purchase. And I said it before and I'm gonna say it again as a standalone point. Make sure that the vehicle that you have decided on is the vehicle that you want. Make sure you are comfortable with it, because once you have made your purchase, that's it. You don't want to have spent millions of dollars doing this thing and then you come out unhappy, sad, you want something else, So if it takes you 5 years to decide, and don't take 5 years, but if it takes you a while to decide, take all the time you need, because remember, at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to be stuck with paying the car payments monthly. You're going to have to pay the insurance yearly. You're gonna have to service it every 6 months or every year, depending on the type of vehicle. You're gonna have to carry it to get it cleaned or clean it yourself. You're gonna have to buy gas. I wanna know, say, gas not cheap. Gas not cheap. So you're gonna have all of those expenses on you. So make sure that whatever you're purchasing is what you want and what you can afford. Okay? Just be comfortable with it. If your pocket can't reach up there, so don't put your hat where you cannot reach it. Stay down there, so until such time. And nobody car shame you. If it's a little buggy you can afford, purchase your little buggy. It don't matter. You know, it's yours. Your hard earned money. Buy it. So be happy and comfortable with it. And just remember, the function and the primary use of the car is to take it from point A to point B. Right? So as long as the car is doing that, be happy with the car until you can afford something else, etc. Don't bother feeling a way about what it is that you're driving. You know how much people not driving? You know, people wish they had something to drive, so just be grateful. Cool? And just take it easy. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. Thank you for listening to me talk about this for so long. I hope you have learned something from it. I hope these tips were helpful, and I hope you'll use them when you're ever looking to purchase your vehicle. If you have questions that you'd like me to answer, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. If it's a more private question, you can send me an email, rushelin.business@gmail.com, and I'll be sure to respond to you as soon as I can. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for your continued support. I appreciate each and every one of you. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Share this video with someone who you think need this advice, or someone who you know would benefit from what I've spoken about. Cool? Thank you so much, guys, and you'll see me in the next video. Bye, guys.